Hey everyone, thanks for joining on another Thursday Live. This is a bit of a strange week because we went live yesterday, we're going live today, and I'm going to be going live again with another health coach. This is Vicky. She's a great health and fitness trainer for women over 40. We're going to be going live together on Monday, I hope. So there'll be a lot of lives coming up. So, follow the channel, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Listen, today I wanted to talk about something, and I'm going to try not to get either emotional or angry, but it's something that really it's one of the reasons that I do what I do, right? So I'm going to tell you about a friend of mine. His name is or was Roberto. He's no longer with us. I met him through my job. He was one of the drivers of the company. Really, really, really nice guy from Mozambique. We would chat a bit in Portuguese and in English. He lived most of his life here in South Africa. Really, I mean, I after he passed away, I talked with a number of his friends. No one could say a negative word against him. He really was such a charming, such a loved person. And but as I say, he's no longer with us. What happened? I mean, what I noticed when I was spending time with Roberto was that he was a busy guy. He was trying to, he was in business. He was doing the hustle like a lot of us. He was trying to expand his business, buy more cars, et cetera, because he was a driver. So he was in the middle of all this. And when I would see him, I'd say, "Look, Roberto, I know you're busy, but it seems to me like you have the certain warning signs that you need to take your health seriously, right?" Um, Now, of course, I'm a health coach, and I probably have I probably see this with everyone, probably everyone around me. They don't. It's not a talk, but I just ask some questions like, "Are you sleeping well through the night? Do you have any digestive issues?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah, this is all there." And are you having trouble losing weight? Do you get tired in the afternoon? And these are all sort of warning signs, right? And Roberto would again and again say, "Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a good idea. I'll do what you say, but next time I'm a little busy right now. I can't really do this." And the result, I don't. Again, this isn't about blame, but I say this as a warning to others. It's like he was so young. He was in his late 30s, early 40s, somewhere around there. He's left three kids and a wife, basically to fend for themselves. Um, when he passed away, his company did, gave some contributions towards their upkeep, but towards the family maintenance and so on. But it's not going to be enough, right? So just to say that, like, we actually need to take this seriously. And heart disease is one of those things that it's very difficult to take seriously because there's not necessarily any symptoms. Sometimes your first symptom is your first heart attack, and that's fatal. But we know that if you're a man between the ages of say 40 and 55 or 60, your chances of having a heart attack are actually quite high. Oh, sorry. Ooh, that was bad. I think I may not have put my microphone on until now. I apologize for that. If you can hear me, let me know. But anyway, we're live right now. So what I wanted to say today was a couple things. First is that we're live today. We were live yesterday. We're going to be live again on Monday. We have another health coach, Vicky, who's going to be joining us on Monday. Um, she's great. So, and she talks about health for women in their 40s. We're going to be talking about protein. We're going to be talking about resistance training. It's going to be awesome. So that is point number one. Point number two is I have a question for everyone, which is, what are you doing to improve your heart health today? And the question I want to tell comes along with a story. It's the story of Roberto. Roberto is my friend. He drives taxi, or he used to drive taxi. He died of a heart attack a couple of years ago. And before he died of a heart attack, I'd been seeing him once every few months. And I'd been saying, "Look, man, what are you going to do about this? Like, it's very clear to me that you're not sleeping particularly well. You're not digesting your food particularly well. Whenever I see you, you're complaining about some health issue or the other. And what are you going to do?" And he would agree with me. He wouldn't disagree with me, but he'd say, "Yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. Right now, I'm busy. I'm expanding my business. I'm a driver. We have so many cars, etc., etc., etc." So cool, fine. It's not my business to tell people when they have to take action. But you should know that if you're a man, especially between the ages of 40 and 60, or if you're a woman above the age of, say, 55, chances are that you could have a heart issue. The first issue, the first symptom that may manifest is a heart attack, right? And a certain percentage of heart attacks, I think it's 40% for men, 60% for women, the first heart attack is fatal. So again, what are you doing to reduce your risk? I'm old enough now. I've seen this story repeat itself again and again, not just with Roberto, my friend Roberto, but many people I know have. they died of a heart attack unexplained, right? Inexplicably, right? Because they thought they were healthy. Maybe they weren't fat. Maybe they didn't have weight to lose. So they thought they were healthy. I don't know why in our society we equate being thin with being healthy, but it's just not true. And I know so many people, my uncle being one of them, my chacha, but also people in my religious community, the Jamaat Khana. Some people just sort of, fell flat on their face, and were no longer there. So what can you do? I mean, going back to the case of Roberto, what could Roberto have done? The short answer is almost anything. He could have taken measures to reduce his stress. Bit of meditation every day might have helped. He could have taken measures to reduce his blood sugar. That's probably a big thing. But most importantly, he could have gotten a scan so that he actually knew what was going on. Now, there are different scans we can get, and we can talk about that in detail another day. But knowing your heart disease risk is super important. And then whether or not you know it, I mean, especially if you're in those age ranges that I said, if you're a man between 40 and 60, if you're a woman above the age of 55, uh, you kind of have to assume that you're in a high risk category. And what it means to be in a high risk category is to assume that you're doing some things wrong. And then just pick what's the lowest hanging fruit? What's your worst habit that would be fairly easy to ameliorate? Are you having, I don't know, sugary drinks? Like that's an easy one, right? Are you having like 3 sugary drinks a day? Can you make it 1 or 0, right? Are you having alcohol? That's another really easy one. Well, it's easy for some people, not easy for others. But can we get rid of the alcohol, right? Sugary drinks, alcohol. This is low hanging fruit. This is the easy stuff, right? If you come and work with me, we're going to address a lot more than that. But those are good starting places, right? So, what are you doing to alleviate your risk, and why aren't you doing it? I mean, that's another question. So many people who kind of know what they should be doing. To be honest, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. That's why um, I have very, I have views that are very well researched and well thought out, but they are counterculture. My views are not mainstream on this subject, right? Because most people who don't do as much research as me are just misinformed, right? If you're misinformed, that's great. Check out my blogs, check out other stuff. Maybe you can inform yourself. But even if you have the right idea, what are you doing about it? Because there are too many issues, too many people who are just waiting until tomorrow, who are not taking their heart health seriously. And guys, this is the number one killer out there. There's no question about it. We actually have to take it super seriously. Roberto has left a family of 3 children, one wife. He's not coming back. And if that happens to us, we're not coming back either, right? So we need to get those scans. We need to get our blood work done. The easy measure for me is your triglyceride to HDL ratio. If your triglycerides are low and your HDL is high, that's great. But most of us have high triglycerides and low HDL, which is not great. That's a walking heart attack rate waiting to happen, right? So how do you fix those things? Get rid of the sugars, get rid of the carbohydrates, eat more real food, right? Real food for humans is eggs, meat, and fish primarily. If you can tolerate dairy, that could also be great. These are just the basic steps that we all should be taking. But my question to you is how are you going to take it seriously? What are you actually going to do? Because I see too many people just sitting on their bums, right? If you sit on your bum, you're not doing nothing. Like you got to take it seriously. Something is going to give way, right? And I'd hate for the first warning sign to be a fatal heart attack. Again, those figures are 40% for men, more than 60% for women. Your first heart attack is your last one. You're fatal. You die from that, right? And there's reasons for why that happens. In the next week or so, I'm going to be publishing a webinar which goes over exactly what happens when we have a heart attack and how to avoid it. Anyway, just some food for thought. It's time to take action. Just let me know down below if you're seeing this. What actions are you going to take? How are you going to do something today to improve your heart health? Thanks so much. With that, I'm Samir, and I'll see you in the next one.